Back at Hurley's, I'm with Kim Dobias. Kim, I haven't seen you in a long time. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you too, Dave.
And we're talking today about holistic therapy, correct?
We are.
And first of all, I want to touch on community of healing because you're involved in this project as well with
Yes.
Mary. And you and I first met, you were performing Reiki on a horse.
I was.
And I was like blown away. That horse loved you. Like I couldn't believe that horse came right over to you, dropped its head on your shoulder, and away you went to work. And that sort of sold me on whatever Mary was trying to sell me on that day. But I just found that was really, really gratifying. And I want to thank you for that moment. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So talk to me about how you got involved with all this.
Well, Mary and I have been friends for many years, and she called me one day and invited me to her stable to meet her horses. And during that process of meeting the horses, I went through a little therapy of my own with a horse named Sadie. And Sadie helped change my life, actually. And so because the horses give us so much, it was my opportunity to give back to them.
How did and I'm sorry to interrupt, but how did that horse help change your life? Can you just give me a little bit more detail?
I can. So I'd been going through a marriage breakdown, and I was really stuck for a long time in anger and resentment. And I couldn't seem to get out of that mode of thinking. I was fearful, I had a lot of anxiety, you know, what comes next in my life, what do I do? And Sadie came to me and she put her nose in my chest, and that's where my anxiety was.
Yeah.
And she showed me that I was stuck because I needed to mourn the loss of the family unit. So from that day forward, I was able to take my steps forward in life to get to where I needed to be unstuck in that place of sorrow and sadness and anger and fear. So it was a beautiful opportunity from that point forward for me to give back to them because they had given so much to me.
I remember that when you were telling me this story once before, and you were trying to walk away, and that horse wouldn't let you, would she?
No, she wouldn't let me.
She held you there.
She did, and the connection was made because that horse had been through something similar in her own existence. She had been betrayed and abandoned, and she was sad. And so she could see that within me.
She related to you.
She did.
On a different level.
Exactly.
And I think that's what the whole community of healing is about. And I think that when you look at the equine therapy and you begin to understand how it unfolds and how it can help people, it's amazing.
It is. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
And it's just a progressive thing. The more time you spend there, and the more time you spend with the horses, the further along they take you on your journey.
Yeah.
They really help to unlock you so that you can move forward and build your confidence. And it's amazing, Dave.
It's incredible, and we're going to be talking to a few other guests today about this.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about what you're doing these days. It's pretty incredible as well.
Well, I love working with the horses, and the horses love it when I show up. So oftentimes what I will do is, have you heard of smudging, Dave?
No, explain that to me.
So smudging is something we use. I burn sage. I get this sage from, it's called Ancestral Voices,
Okay.
and it's actually on the reserve in Oswegan. So it's sacred, it's blessed from harvest to packaging to selling. So when you sage, you're clearing negativity.
Okay.
So do you ever walk into a room, Dave, and you just feel this overwhelming negativity?
Yes, I do, and you know, and that's how do you deal with that? Because
well,
it's important in my line of work and yours to be able to do that.
It is. It is. So what I often do is I sage. I smudge myself. It's negative energy is just as real as positive energy.
Yeah.
And everything is energy. It was explained to me that we humans are sort of like a Swiffer, you know, a duster.
Yep.
And so these negative energies floating around and these positive energies floating around, they stick to us. So someone's has a negative attachment to them, and we're in their presence, and it comes to us, and that's what makes us feel ill or off, or sometimes,
Just negative yourself too.
Exactly.
It falls over. It spills over onto you.
That's right. So when I do smudging, and I smudge myself with the smoke, and you can't believe the difference that it feels. It's like a weight is lifted off of you.
And when you say smudging, is that just taking it in?
It is. So you would put some sage in your dish.
Yeah.
You light it on fire. You wait for the flame to distinguish or extinguish, and then just the smoke rises.
Yeah.
And so that can clear away energy, negative energy from yourself and also from your environment. So the horses love it when I show up to smudge the barn or to smudge them.
Yeah.
I get their attention immediately. As soon as they smell the
They know
smoke,
that, yeah.
they know. And you can watch them, their heads, I go down the aisle of the stalls, and their heads they're out, and they're breathing it in, and their eyes start to soften, and their head starts to drop, and they allow the smudge to clear their negativity too, because let's face it, they have a lot of people bringing things into their environment.
Right. I never even thought about that. You're right, because we're here. We are taking all our problems to them.
That's right.
And now we're not dealing with that.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. And when you look at, like I saw when you were doing Reiki that day, that horse needs the relief too, right?
They do. Yeah,
Wow.
they do. So I also do aromatherapy with them. So they love essential oils. They're so good for us, but they're good for them as well. So it's interesting. Sometimes I will test to see, who likes which oil,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to see their reaction. Now, one essential oil that I use that they all like is lavender. And lavender is really something everybody should have in their house because it's good for everything.
It's quite calming. We've used that for years.
Calming, yeah. I put it on the bottoms of my feet every night before I go to bed. It helps me sleep.
Wow. So you can see all these connections that you've made with Sunflower and with Community of Healing. Now, when people want to talk to you more about directly what you're doing, can you give the folks some information where they can get a hold of you and how it works?
They actually can find me on Sunflower website.
Okay.
I am a practitioner listed on Sunflower Stable's website, and so they can find me that way.
Excellent. And anything you want to add before we wrap up today? This has been really informative. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that this is a great opportunity to share all of our gifts with each other, and hopefully everybody who's needing a little help in their life will contact Mary at Sunflower Stable and go see some horses.
Thanks for sharing your story. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're
Take care.
welcome. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.